the wish to make colors which are not pastel and at the same time are not easily defined. So we have, gray greens, gray blues, violet grays. Have a lot of variety of color, but I think they'd be very, very difficult to define. You couldn't really say, well, that's definitely a blue or that's definitely a green. They're colors which defy easy descriptions. They're colors which just make you think, well, this is actually like seeing something from a distance. And in fact, the distance is changing the color, like we see in a landscape. We look at color over a distance, and the distance is the thing that changes our perception of the color.
And what you said about the distance, is it so much grayish because it might be some kind of a veil?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just think about standing within a landscape situation and you see a tree quite near to you, and then you see the same kind of tree in a distance, and they're the same color, but because the other tree is further away, there's something between you, the observer, and the tree, which interferes with the reading of color, and that's space. The space between things changes the way we read color, and I'm very interested in that. Without being too literal and without being too specific, I'm consciously aware of how we see things and how we really see things. I think Ellsworth Kelly said it's about how we see things and how we really see things. I still believe that this kind of painting can say the unspeakable, the absolute, the profound. These paintings, these watercolors, are about interactions between colors and between space and between light. And this seems to me, I'm so convinced that this really is an area of painting which is able to hold the really important aspects of what it is to be a human being. When you are at the ocean and you're standing on the beach and there's no one else around you, and you are looking out at the horizon line between where the sea, where the ocean meets the sky, what's that about? How do you deal with that, as a painter? How do you deal with that? I mean, we're talking about infinite space. We're talking about an impossibility of painting. It is so vast. It is so exceptional as a visual phenomena. We cannot get close to that. And I think some of these things are addressing precisely that kind of phenomena, that, wow, this kind of breathtaking response to a certain space. You know, space. It's still something which I think is, I don't think we've really begun to understand space, you know, because when we talk about space, we're also talking about time, we're talking about matter, we're talking about light, we're talking about all these things. And this really is the subject matter of my work. This is the investigation that I find interesting. It's not about the drama of everyday life. It's about looking out into the world and who we are in relation to what we see. What we see and the visual phenomena of the world. And that allows me to deal with these things. If I wasn't an artist, I'm not quite sure how I would be able to deal with these visual phenomena. I don't know how I would be able to formulate that response to the world, you know. You can't write about it. Maybe music. I mean, music comes close to it. I probably, if I wasn't a painter, I'd probably be a musician, because that's another area where it's possible to address the unspeakable.